Lionel Messi's last World Cup will be this year, and with it, I see the last remnants of my childhood slowly drifting away. But anyways, we revisit the question that's pretty much asked before every single World Cup: is it finally Messi's year? I've gotten quite a few messages from you guys asking if I have a playlist for all the Japanese city pop I use. The answer is yes, and if you're interested, the Spotify playlist is in the description. And not only do you get to hear more than the 5-second snippets, there's plenty of songs I still have yet to use. Messi started his senior debut in 2005 against Hungary and lasted just 2 minutes after being sent off. A year later, he became the youngest ever Argentinian player to represent the national team at the World Cup, aged 18. Messi managed a goal and assist in the tournament while coming off the bench in all but one game. In 2007, Argentina faced a shock defeat in the Copa America final against a Brazilian side not even fielding its best players. While most of the Argentinian players got a good amount of stick for that match, Messi was kind of excused for the fact that he was pretty young at the time. However, Messi bounced back the very next year, winning Olympic gold and being named best player of the tournament. And surely that would carry on into the 2010 World Cup. It didn't. But hey, at least we had the free entertainment of Diego Maradona. Messi again suffered the agony of defeat in another Copa America a year later. However, the 2014 World Cup saw the magician put on a show with iconic goal after iconic goal. And with a solid Argentinian defense led by the late Alejandro Sabella, Argentina made it to the final. However, two things stood in front of Messi and Argentina: Germany and Gonzalo Higuain's finishing. Messi did finish the tournament as the third highest goal scorer and also created the most chances of any other player. He also won the Golden Ball, which, yeah, I don't know, man. In the 2015 Copa America, Lionel Messi carried the Argentinians to another final, but unfortunately, Higuain.
Tragic!
Another Copa America was hosted in the US just a year later, and again Messi broke his back carrying the national team to yet another final. However, Chile again won on penalties, and the shootout gave birth to a picture that has been devoid of all of its meaning, like this one thanks to meme culture. Messi, having had his soul sucked from him, actually retired from international football, but that didn't really last very long. Although the 2018 World Cup definitely tempted him in retiring for a second time. First, there was Messi's saved penalty against Iceland. Then there was the 3-0 loss that followed up with reports of the Argentinian camp being in a mismanagement crisis under head coach Jorge Sampaoli. And while Argentina did make it out of the group, they were extremely poor. Their lackluster performances, though, eventually got them eliminated in the round of 16 by France. Messi encountered another Copa America disappointment after Argentina lost to Brazil in the 2019 semis. However, the 2021 edition looked to be a bit different this time, with young head coach Lionel Scaloni growing into his job and the Argentinian core behind Messi becoming stronger. Argentina took care of business in their group, then chewed up Ecuador, won on penalties against Colombia thanks to COD lobby levels of trash talk, and finally defeated Brazil after pretty much playing target practice with Neymar. At last, Lionel Messi, who was involved in 9 of the team's 12 goals, had his international trophy he so longed for as Argentina broke their 28-year curse. But the Argentinians didn't stop there. Just this year in the summer, they defeated the Pasta Frauds 3-0 in the most glorified friendly ever. Since 2019, Albiceleste have gone on a 35-match unbeaten run, which means they're actually pretty close to the record of 37 held by Italy currently. And with a stat like that, it definitely tells you that Argentina going into this World Cup are major favorites. Argentina's current head coach is the aforementioned Lionel Scaloni. He initially started as an assistant to Jorge Sampaoli at Sevilla, and when Sampaoli was named coach of Argentina, Scaloni moved with them. After Sampaoli's disaster class in Russia, Scaloni then took the reins in November 2018. Scaloni over the years instilled stability into the national team, something that had been really missing before then. His philosophy sees the team play very narrowly, as there's not many natural wingers to work with. And because of this strict narrow shape, the Argentinian players are actually very close to one another. As a result, there's not much of a distinct midfield structure, meaning the Argentinians' attacking patterns can be quite unpredictable. In defense, Scaloni puts a lot of emphasis in pressing out of possession. He wants his men to win the ball as quick as possible, and by doing that, the whole team presses as a unit to push the opposition to one side of the pitch. While Argentina play a consistently higher defensive line, they are still very good in a low block as well, so having that type of versatility in defense can be very useful in the tournament. But the most important part of this entire system is the fact that Argentina are no longer relying on just Lionel Messi, and it feels like eons since the last time that has ever happened. But this change means not only Messi, but every player now has their part to play. Each of their individual attributes are celebrated. Messi is simply now just someone who optimizes an already well-run team, which is exactly why Messi and the national team are thriving more than ever, really. Before Scaloni, unlike at club level, Messi didn't have much to work with as everyone was playing for him. Now it's more so everyone is playing with him. Argentina are actually a team again. But let's now talk about some key players in this system. Goalkeeper Emi Martinez was essential in Argentina's Copa America success last year, although he has been a bit disappointing for Club Aston Villa. That being said, he won't have to see the backside of Tyrone Mings at the World Cup, so I feel pretty confident that he does perform decently well. And there's probably no doubt that we will see Christian Romero in the back line. The best way to describe this guy from an Arsenal perspective is he's an annoying fly that will never get out of your face, which can be seen as he's in the top 2% of all central defenders in the top 5 leagues for pressures per 90, and then he's top 1% for tackles per 90. So far this season, he's been fantastic for Spurs as the team has one of the best defenses in the league. One of my favorite players in this team, though, is Rodrigo de Paul. He was an absolute warrior against Brazil in the Copa America final. The central midfielder is brilliant in controlling the tempo from deep and has fantastic vision. He's in the top 15% of all midfielders in progressive passes per 90, top 20% in dribbles per 90, and while these percentages don't really seem that convincing, let's just remember he plays for Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. His abilities, though, are really seen in his XG assisted and shot creating actions as he ranks in the top 10%. Striker Lautaro Martinez has definitely grown into the striker role for Argentina. Just this year, he has 4 goals in 5 games. And so far in Serie A, he has 4 goals and an assist in 9 starts. El Toro, as he's nicknamed, is quick, agile, and can also provide goals alongside scoring them. Another thing going in Argentina's favor is their depth. The likes of Juan Foyth, Gonzalo Montiel, Marcos Acuna, and even Nicolas Gonzalez are great options. But of course, we can't make a video questioning whether Lionel Messi could actually win this World Cup without talking about the man. Messi, after having a pretty underwhelming first season at PSG under, by the way, Pochettino, a man that should be arrested for his fraudulence, is actually in the top 10 for goals and assists per 90 in Europe so far. 5 goals, 7 assists, he's thriving a lot more in that Galtier system. And this year for the national team, he's actually scored 9 goals. His role for Argentina now sees him actually drift deeper to support Lautaro Martinez, which allows him to link up with his teammates a lot more frequently. In contrast to the 37 passes per 90 in 2018 World Cup qualifiers, Messi has averaged 51 per 90 in the 2022 World Cup qualifiers, which again comes back to this new theme of collectivism in this reborn Argentinian side. Having finally won an international trophy last year, the weight is off Messi's shoulders. No longer is there a burden for this national team, and that's why I think they could actually potentially win this year's World Cup. Although injuries could pose a problem, especially with a few more weeks to go, we could see a bunch of players go down, who knows. Both uber creative talents in Angel Di Maria and Paulo Dybala are currently out injured with the tournament weeks away. A true bummer because Dybala, before getting injured on a penalty, had 5 goals in 5 games, and Angel Di Maria was about the only thing that looked good in such a terrible Juventus side. But what do you think? Can Argentina actually win the World Cup for the first time since 1986? Let me know. Of course, though, a massive shout out to all our patrons, including Janos Balas, Sensley Hank Dennis, El Favi, Miliway009, Alex Rod, Ulta, Amin Suomez, Araisan, Arnolfo Martinez Jr., Daniel Ortiz, Francisco Hernandez, Juan Leras, Kev FM, Luke Fitzsimmons, Nguyen Mintang, Parafocus, Return Fire, Rory Burns, Subscribe to Tendetem, The Motor Drive, Tomicus, Vanilla Mexican 17, Victor, Carlos G, Chris Damasceno, David Dunn, Declan Malloy, Emmett Shea, Lewis, Jordan Clavin, Mohammed Albach Hale, MX Weeb, Patrick Barley, Preston Pulisic, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to join the Patreon, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you'd like, follow my Instagram if you want, follow my TikTok, trying to get to 15,000 there, and of course, you can follow my inactive Twitch, or more so semi-active Twitch. Oh, I almost forgot. But until then, I'll see you guys.